Hey guys, it's Katie. Today I'm going to do a little update of the herb garden. I always forget to put these in with my regular garden tours, but I thought I'd do an update because things are looking really good. And also I got some plants at the nursery for Mother's Day, so I'll show you what I got, do sort of a herb garden haul and herb garden update. Okay, so this is sort of the overview, what it looks like. This is in the front of my house. And right here, what you're seeing here, this is all parsley. I let it go to seed, so it's basically naturalized. I have not planted parsley purposefully in many years. So I let it go to seed. It throws its own seed down, and it's a 2-year life cycle. So the seeds that will come up, well, these seeds will drop, they'll come up, and then the next year they'll do seed. So I have kind of 2 stages of plants at all times. So, but that's good. I have it seeding itself, and I have enough to use. So anyway, the oregano is also mixed in here. This is all oregano. You can see this sort of short patch here. I harvested that, but there's just so much. So actually I'm gonna take some of this out and give some to my mom. I'll probably take I don't know, it's all up there and all up here. It's almost invasive to this point, but anyway, it looks really good. You can see it's coming back already where I cut it back, and like I said, that's just a fraction of the total that I have, and that filled up like an entire spice bottle. That'll probably be what I need for the whole year, so I don't need all of this. There's some more parsley down here. It actually started down here, but when the oregano took over, I took some of the seeds and threw them up there. So now I have the parsley up there, but then this oregano has gone this way. So these are 2 different kinds of oregano, but I can't remember which is which. One's a Mexican oregano, and one was like an Italian oregano, I think. But I think the oregano was left over from my wedding. We gave potted herbs for our favors, and one of my husband's friend's mother brought one back to us when we bought this house, and we put it in the garden, so it's kind of nice. It's been in here a long time. We've been in this house for almost 12 years, 11 years, something like that, and we've been married for just a little bit longer than that. So anyway, that's all oregano, parsley, and then there's some chives here. The chives throw their own seeds too, so they kind of spread around a little bit. But these are garlic chives and regular chives, and they're blooming. Actually pulled a bunch of blooms here. Hold on one second. Alright, sorry. My son had a hold of my key fob, was making my van honk. Back there's some hen chicks, and then the rosemary. I showed them in one of my garden hauls, and they were just like falling all over the place and a mess, and I've never really trimmed them back, and they were looking terrible. So I trimmed them back, and they have come back, and they look beautiful. So I'm really happy with that. You just have to watch. You can't cut them down too far. There has to be green below where you cut. So you can't cut them all the way back. A lot of my herbs I just cut all the way back and let them come basically back from scratch. That's what I did to the sage. Hack it all the way down and it will come back. I could do that to the oregano too, and this oregano, I don't think anything could kill it. But for the rosemary, you have to cut it more conservatively. So anyway, then right here is just a little bit of tarragon. I went to get more tarragon because I use it quite a bit. And it seems to be about the same size as it was when I put it in several years ago. Like, it comes back every year and it grows, but I don't know. It's not as much as I use apparently, because it's not spreading like the rest of these herbs are. So anyway, that's the herb garden. The sage is here too. I have a few trees. I just noticed there's a tree there and there's a tree there from squirrels planting acorns and maple leaves falling. But anyway, I pulled a bunch of weeds out. There's a couple dandelions here. It's hard to really weed here because when the parsley comes up, I don't want to rip it up. Alright, so here's the plants I got at the nursery yesterday. I tried to set them up, but there's so much roots coming out of the bottom. They're so ready to be planted that they're not even standing up. But I'll go through these one by one and show you what I got. I got these at a small family nursery here in Northern Virginia. It's called Tom DiBaggio's. It's in Chantilly. We love that place. They have a lot of herbs and some specialty things, and they also sell vegetables. So they have like tomatoes, peppers, lettuce, stuff like that. And they have flowers too, annual and perennial flowers. But we usually go for the herbs and then we get a few vegetables. So I got, this is a French tarragon. I'll put in with that other tarragon. The one that's in the garden is the same thing I got at Tom DiBaggio's. So this will go in right next to that, and hopefully that plant will, or the plants together will get a little bushier. So I love this. It's really good with chicken. Let's see. This here is a bergamot, which is an orange mint. This is the distinctive flavor in Earl Grey tea. I'm going to put this in a container. I'll have to show you in my next garden update that I do of the back garden. My husband finally pulled all that spearmint out. It's not gone for good, I'm sure, but we might put some spearmint in a container. I have the peppermint in a container, and then I'll have this in a container. And he actually put flowers, like wildflowers, for the bees back there in the spinach bed. So I had one of these before, but everything I put in with that other spearmint, the spearmint just takes over. This has a really lovely fragrance, and it's just, I don't know, I just love it even more than like the spearmint, and the peppermint's my absolute favorite, but the orange mint is really good as well. We also got a chocolate mint from his coworker, so I'll have chocolate mint as well, and we're going to put everything in containers and try to keep that a little more controlled back there. This here is a patchouli, and if you brush the leaves, just kind of give them a little tussle here and smell them, it smells like patchouli. And this actually, I think I need to put this in a container and bring it in the winter. It's not hardy in my zone, but I love it so much. It was so interesting. I've never seen it in any store, plant nursery. I've never even seen it in catalog, so I was really excited to get this. I can smell it just brushing that up. It smells so good. I'm not like a super huge fan of patchouli, but I do appreciate its unique smell. Alright, here is the thyme I got. I had a hard time choosing. They have, each of their herbs, they have like 7 or 8 different varieties of thyme. They have even more varieties of basil and rosemary and everything else. This is a golden thyme. I pick it because it has these more round leaves. If you get French thyme, they tend to be sort of longer and skinnier leaves, and I find that it seems like when you're using them, they're just a little tougher because it's a lot of vein, whereas if they're rounder, I don't know, the surface area seems to make up for it. But I thought this was cute. It's variegated, and I thought it would look nice in the garden. I don't have, like, a lot of my plants are just very basic. I have the basic oregano, I have the basic sage. I don't have any like different variations or anything like that, so I thought the variegated thyme would look really nice. This here is a pineapple sage. I got this for in the back in the where we're planting flowers for the bees. This is really good for bees and butterflies. It gets into a huge bush. It's an annual, but it will get huge, and then it gets these really beautiful red flowers on it that the pollinators love. And then I got a bay plant. I had a bay plant for many years, and I think this was my 3rd bay plant. The first one I had maybe 2 years, or maybe 1 year, and it didn't overwinter well. And then I had one that I had for maybe 3 years, and I overwintered it over 2 times, but this last winter it died. And it's mostly because I forgot to water it. You need to cut way back on watering when you overwinter things like that, but you can't stop completely. So I am going to put this in a container. I was keeping them in the backyard, but I might keep it in the front here in the with the herbs. But this one's nice. It has 3 branches, 1 main branch, and then these ones look like new growth. But yeah, this is like bay leaves that you would use in stews and stuff, bay laurel. And I've seen these that they turn basically into trees. They can be up to 40 feet tall. They won't get that big in a container in this area, but if you've ever bought bay leaves, you know how expensive they are. This plant was $10, but even if I kill the plant today and take all these leaves off, it's pretty much paid for itself. So hopefully it doesn't die today, but anyway, I'm really happy to have my bay plant back because mine has been dead. I never even took it out of my windowsill because I'm saving that like place in that pot for my new bay. So I was really excited to get this. I've been looking forward to getting this. And then we just got a few vegetables. I got a carbon tomato. This one looked really good. I tried to grow carbon tomatoes before and they didn't germinate for me. I had gotten, in a seed swap, I had gotten like 5 seeds, and I don't really know. Probably something I did wrong. It's not so much that the seeds were bad, but they didn't germinate for me, and so I wanted to get a plant, and then my husband wanted a cherry tomato, so this one I think is Matt's Wild Cherry, and this one is a carbon tomato. And then I got 2 peppers. My daughter picked one out, a miniature red bell pepper for her garden, and then this one is the one that I grew last year. It's called Tequila. It's the purple plant. I saved seeds because I wanted to plant it again. It makes a purple bell pepper, but aside from it just being a beautiful bell pepper, the plants are awesome. They're very well suited for our area, and the peppers they make are really nice, really thick balled and blocky, and they taste so sweet and delicious. And I do have that purple bed in the back, so I'm going to put those back there. I'll wait a couple weeks, maybe 2 weeks, and put them out at the beginning of June. just to be sure, because even though we had like a full solid week of temperature in the 80s, and we even had a few days in the 90s, but today it's not even 50 degrees, and it got down to like the low 40s overnight tonight. So actually these plants were all inside last night. So yeah, it's kind of tricky this time of year to put things out. But anyway, oh, and we got this other flower. My daughter picked this out, and my mom got it for her. She's going to put that in her garden. I don't know what it is. Lobelia. Alright, so that's everything for the haul in my front herb garden. I will do, maybe when it warms up, maybe in the next day or so, I'll do the back garden tour and upload that so you can see what's going on back there. It's beautiful back there, so be sure to subscribe and keep your eye out for that video coming up. I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Bye!